Jaguars rookie quarterback Gardner Minshew had just over 200 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in the team's first win of the season last night. The rookie's been impressing folks since filling in for Nick Foles after the quarterback injured his collarbone week 1. On the other side of the ball, after reportedly requesting a trade from the team this week, quarterback Ramsey played, and oh boy did he play. He racked up 5 tackles and 1 forced fumble for Saxonville. A lot to unpack here. Shannon, is Gardner Minshew becoming a star? And how will this impact the decision on what happens with Ramsey?
Skip, I don't believe the two are related.
No?
I think the thing is Gardner Minshew is a 6th-round draft pick, so there's a very low bar. It's not like he's a top 5 pick, Skip, and there's expectations of him coming in. I know everybody's hoping, especially in Jacksonville, we see the second coming of Tom Brady. And I was watching the game last night because there was nothing else to watch. I mean, I'm sorry. Our guys had it.
For a while, I wasn't sure there was much to watch there.
Yeah.
And it started to percolate.
I mean, think about it, Skip. You got Tennessee, Jacksonville, and it's raining.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Boy, that's a trifecta that I don't believe that Ramsey issue has anything to do with whether or not he believes Gardner Minshew can be a star and can get this team heading in the right direction. I think Ramsey's situation is that he doesn't feel that he's been respected, especially by someone that's above Doug Marrone.
That's what he said on that podcast.
Yes, he made it abundantly clear. He got nothing to do with Doug Marrone. And so when you got a situation like...
It was after that incident, how he was treated by those upstairs.
Upstairs, correct.
Coughlin.
Skip, he really, when you break it down in the simplest form, he's definitely not a Tom Coughlin type of a guy.
Nope.
He's a guy that's going to say what he wants to say. He's going to do what he wants to do.
Now, I will bet you Tom Coughlin said what he wanted to say to him.
Exactly. Right? And those two things do not mesh, because I can assure you the Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville, the first go-around, was a lot different than the Tom Coughlin, the Giants, once he and Strahan had that talk. Because everybody knows that they had a talk and said, yeah, you can keep doing it your way, and you're going to keep getting the same results. Guys are tuning you out. Guys don't want to play for you. And for the most part, guys don't like you. So he changed somewhat, Skip.
Okay.
Gardner Minshew, he's played well. He made a couple throws last night, Skip, that you're like, wow.
Wow.
The one to sideline to D.D. Westbrook, the touchdown to Chark, you're like, wow, those are big-time throws. But, Skip, I just want to hold off before I start throwing out bouquet of roses at him just yet, because I do believe as a 6th-round draft pick, there's not a whole lot of expectations. But could we see a situation where Nick Foles get Nick Foles? I'm just saying, Skip, I'm just throwing it. It's early. It's early.
Are you saying Gardner Minshew will prove to be better than Nick Foles?
There you go.
I think you're edging in that direction.
I'm not saying that, but he's caught fire like Nick Foles caught fire in Philly. And that's what we're seeing in Jacksonville. Let's give out an all-American kid. He has a mustache and looking like the Marlboro Man. He has a bandana, the Star and the Stripe bandana tied around his head, and he has a T-shirt on. And he seems like a common guy you want to go have a beer with. You know, beer make it bloat you. You don't want something, nice look. Nightcap, something like that, Skip.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't know. You would.
But no, Skip, I'm going to hold off on him being a star. I thought he played well. I thought he made some great throws, but it's only 3 games into the season. And he's won one of those games. So we'll see moving forward.
He came close to winning the other one.
Yeah.
He's in a 2-point conversion at Texans.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, plus when he came in for Nick Foles in the first game, he was what, 22 or 25?
He was.
He had like some...
For 275.
Right.
2 touchdowns.
And so he can build, but we're going to see what's going to transpire moving forward. Now, the Titans didn't put a whole lot of resistance. I mean, Skip, I've seen enough. I know this we're not supposed to talk about. This is not the discussion, but I've seen enough of Marcus Mariota. I'm done. That's it.
Just for the record, before that draft, I said no. I said I don't see it.
I've seen enough.
In Oregon, I said no.
I'm good.
He still like shot puts the ball, like he push passes. I don't know. He's had his moments. He's actually been a little better than I thought he would be. But when push comes to shove, they'll go win a game they shouldn't. They go up to Cleveland and just dismantle the Browns on opening day.
Or they go to the Cowboys and dismantle the Cowboys on a Monday night.
Before Amari, but that's a whole nother issue.
And then they lose at home to the Colts, and then they go on the road in Jacksonville with a backup.
And you just can't, there's no consistency.
Yeah.
And they have a very good defense.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
But you can't leave him. You can't leave him out there.
No.
And the thing is, Skip, they had to. Before I let you go, the Titans had the ball for almost 38 minutes, and got 7 points to show for that. 38 minutes? There's only 60 minutes in a football game.
Yep.
And you dominated the time of possession, and you got 7.
Yep. Okay. So there are several levels to this development in Jacksonville that could have ramifications around the league, maybe all the way to Kansas City, given Jalen Ramsey's potential trade. So what do I think of Gardner Minshew? I saw just a little bit of his mop-up against Kansas City when Nick Foles got hurt, obviously. Right. Mildly impressed.
Right.
And then I watched a good bit of the Texans. I was more impressed.
Right.
And last night, I was very impressed.
Okay.
Because Tennessee's pretty good on defense.
Ask Baker Mayfield.
Ask him. Ask Dak Prescott last year.
Yeah.
So the point is, here's what I'm seeing. I see the Carson Wentz, the anti-Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, my issue with him is he's obviously a talented young man, big strapping young man, but he tries to wind up and throw every pass through that brick wall. I'm going to huff and puff and throw that pass through the brick wall with all my might. This kid is the opposite. This kid was born with a knack for playing quarterback, a feel for playing quarterback. He does not have a cannon. He has just an okay arm, a good enough arm to win in the NFL if you have a feel for playing the position.
So he's Prescottian, huh?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dak's got a much bigger arm.
Oh, you are much bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, much
You make it
bigger.
seem like he got a homeboy arm.
Well, it's not there. I'll give you that, but it's better than this kid's arm.
No,
because
I wouldn't say that.
This is all touch and anticipation and okay. My receiver's got a half a step going toward the goal line. I'm going to drop this one down the chimney where only he can catch it.
Oh, so that's way better than Dak. Dak can't do that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. But Carson Wentz is, watch this. I'm going to stand in here until my guy gets open deep. Boom! Gets hit. This guy will not get hit like that in the pocket.
Oh, no, he takes off.
And what does Mike Leach, what did he always say about him? He has the best pocket presence of any quarterback I've coached. And he's coached a lot of pretty good ones, obviously, over the time at Texas Tech and Washington State. It's his offense. It's always, did the offense make him or did he make the offense go? And in this case, he's good enough to be a starter in this league. Now, my issue is I am a Nick Foles believer. You're not. But I just look at Nick Foles, even in the regular season, in the games he started, he's 69 touchdowns to 33 interceptions. And he simply took over the playoffs the last 2 years. Not 1 year, 2 years. You know what he did 2 years ago, heading towards Super Bowl MVP?
Yep.
Then he goes up and wins at Chicago. I know he needed a double doink kick, but then he goes to New Orleans, and you know this one, and he had them in position until he hit Alshon right in the hands, and it went right through his hands to Marshawn Lattimore and ended that game. But he had them in position to do it again.
Yep.
Well, he's just better because he's 6'6", 245. People don't. You forget.
I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 245. He doesn't play that big.
No, he does not.
He's athletic. Remember, he got a scholarship offer to play basketball at Baylor, so it's like a pretty good D1 program. So he's athletic enough. And
he plays like a 6'2" guy. The way he moves around,
he plays
like a small guy.
Okay, can he stay healthy? I don't know. So now he's got a broken collarbone. I don't know how long that's going to take to come back. But this Minshew kid's got that X factor. He's got charisma. He's a character. He doesn't really care what anybody thinks.
Oh, I thought you were saying Minshew was 6'6".
No, Minshew. No, Foles is 6'6".
Oh, yeah.
Minshew's 6'1".
Yeah. He plays. He looks 6'1".
Yeah.
You know who he reminds you of, Skip? He reminds you of Baker Mayfield.
I agree. He's got some Baker in him, but he doesn't quite have Baker's.
He doesn't have his arm talent now.
No, he doesn't have his arm talent. He's not quite as athletic as Baker, because Baker can run a little bit down the field. He timed 5 flat in the 40, did Minshew. Okay?
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, so it's not like but he has some.
I mean, he's faster than you know who ran 5.28. I ain't call his name. You know.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
The guy that ran the most unathletic 40.
Oh,
the guy that had the most unathletic body in the history of combine.
The other 6th rounder. I don't think we're seeing Tom Brady here, but who knows? I could be wrong. I couldn't see Tom Brady when we first saw Tom Brady.
Exactly. But Matt Hasselbeck was a 6th-round draft pick. Mark Rippon was a 6th-round draft pick. So there have been some 6th-round draft picks that had some success.
Okay, so because of the mustache, because of all of his crazy behavior where he was once seen working out without any clothes on in the weight room doing band workouts, I think. So he's got this. This is all in his resume, and people know about this. So he's a character.
Right.
So because of that, there's new euphoria in Jacksonville.
Yes.
So because of that, I think that was a huge team. They sacked Mariota 9 times. Calais Campbell had impact on that game, wreaked havoc in that game the way people keep telling me Aaron Donald does, and I never see it. Did you see Calais last night?
I did see Calais.
I mean, did he not just take over your TV screen? He owned the game, right?
Yes.
They could not block Calais Campbell.
They couldn't block anybody.
Okay, well, whatever, but he just took the game over. So all of a sudden, new euphoria. Is it possible Jalen wakes up this morning and says, God, you know, that was fun last night?
Skip, he knows what his defense is capable of doing, but he also knows that somebody upstairs disrespected him. How do I reconcile?
This is the bridge burned by probably Tom Coughlin. I don't know.
And Skip, look, I think Jalen has wanted to exit there for an extended period of time.
He's made noise. He has.
You know, he talks about the extension, wanting the extension. They seem to be very, very slow to act. Tom Coughlin likes things his way. Tom Coughlin is from a military background.
Is he?
His structure is everything with him. If you're 5 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
You need to be 10 minutes early.
I agree. And yet, bottom line to the euphoria last night is Jalen Ramsey, perhaps distracted, perhaps a little disheartened. I didn't think he played very well.
He didn't.
Right?
He didn't.
In fact, he got beaten by some guy named Sharp.
Oh, you already know what time it was.
What's his name? Tajay Sharp?
Yeah.
Is he like a distant relative?
I don't think so.
Look at this. This is Jalen Ramsey. You know, Dion in his day, he would have put that ball in his back
pocket. Well, first of all,
pocket.
Skip, if we go back to the beginning, the mistake that he makes, he's in a press position.
Yeah, he was.
And I tell him,
let him get under inside.
If you open the door, flies come in your house. If you're in a press position, put hands on him. If you're not, back up off him.
Okay, was he not completely invested in the game last night? Was he not locked in the way he usually is? Because only 3 times in his career has he given up more than 100 yards, and last night was one of them.
Right. And you can't, but Skip, Skip, those are the guys that get you. You know why? Because you underestimate them.
Maybe.
He goes
Tajay Sharp, by the way, was a 5th-round pick in 2016 out of UMass.
Skip.
So I don't know that Jalen was saying, I got to shut him down. Right?
But you watched Jalen Ramsey the week before against D-Hop.
Yeah, he was in.
He knows D-Hop can embarrass him. He knows Julio can embarrass him. AB, he knows those guys. He's like, man, this guy, I'm telling you.
I agree. You're right.
I made that mistake, man, look, man, this guy. Then I lead the game with 3 catches for 18 yards. I say I'd never make that mistake again. I say you respect everyone, you underestimate no one, and you'll be okay. But you got to realize now, even though they might not have the name, they're in the NFL for a reason.
That's true. So Adam Schefter, reporter on ESPN, that one team actually called the league office a couple days back to say, hey, if we trade for Jalen Ramsey, is it possible he could play Thursday night for Jacksonville and Sunday for us? And the league said, nope, that's against the rules. You can only play 1 game per week.
That's a lie.
Okay.
What about these Sunday, Thursday games?
Well, you can make that case.
What's the difference? Okay. What's the difference, Skip?
Okay. I guess that qualifies as 2 in 1 week, although they're going to say, well, then you get 10 days or whatever, you get an off.
10 days off to recover. But you play on Sunday, then turn around and play on Thursday. Okay. You get 10 days off before you play another game.
Okay.
But if you play Thursday night, you get Friday, Saturdays.
Okay.